Xbox, Record This is a podcast celebrating all things gaming, Xbox, and the good old days. If you'd like to find out more, head to xboxrecordthis.com.
Oh, hello. Daddy Diwali here, and welcome to Xbox Record That, episode 10. In celebration, I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel. That's right here, you guys. We got a special guest tonight. Commander Shepard is here. If you're an audio listener, this episode you need to make sure and go straight to the video on YouTube because I am wearing my limited edition Commander Shepard N7 official helmet. It's starting to fog up in here. It's starting to get a little claustrophobic. So hold on, you guys. I'm going to try to switch the light. Oh, here we go. I'm a Paragon now. I am.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you could choose.
Here we go. You choose.
And this
your
is
adventure.
it's FemShep joining us, right? I can't tell from the voice,
I gotta show you the artwork. Dude, the artwork is sweet. Guys, this is episode 10. I'm so happy we made it. We did it. 10 episodes. I want to congratulate both of you, even though it was mostly me in the beginning. And then Chapeau Bear. And
Two
then,
episodes.
Bubba
I mean,
Boy,
mathematically, we've been here
for a few
80%
episodes.
of the time.
Regardless, congratulations, boys. 10 episodes. We should be proud of that. I've seen a lot of other Xbox podcasts stopping at 10 saying this is hard. And they're right. This is hard, but we're going to stick with it, okay? All right. Jose, joining me as always, the assistant to the co-host, I'd like to welcome in Chapeau Bear. Chapeau Bear, how are you?
I am great, Daddy Diwali. You are looking great, by the way. Folks, if you, he is absolutely serious. If you have not checked us out on YouTube, I mean, we're mostly good looking, but this just brings it up a whole nother level. That helmet is something to be proud of. And since most of you that are N7 or Mass Effect fans probably looked at the collector's edition and then saw the price tag and said, there is no absolute way that my significant other will allow it. Well, you don't know Daddy Diwali, so you got to check it out. But I am great, man. Happy to be back from vacation and with you fine fellas today.
Well, thank you, Chapeau Bear. And joining us, as always, is the assistant to the co-host, Bubble Boy and Seven. How are you tonight?
Oh, I am doing wonderful. And that helmet is just, man, it's a good thing you're married. Otherwise, like, you would have to be beating the girls off with sticks. I don't know how they would stay away.
Your hinge profile, that's your main pick.
Can you imagine if you came over and you're like, man, look at this guy's pad. This guy must have a bunch of money. Anyway, I'm not going to.
He buys collector's editions all the time.
This is literally, guys, the first collector's item I've ever purchased, and it was worth every freaking penny. I knew as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I need to have that. Because I love Mass Effect, and I need to show my respect even more with the giant banner, the pillow, the Omni Blade. You know, this
it was the
amazing.
one to get.
It was
for sure. I mean, it that stands out among, I think, of all the ones Alan has, and those statues are pretty cool. But that helmet, I think, takes the cake.
And like you said, I can be Commander Shepard for all of Halloween for the rest of my life. So pretty exciting stuff, you guys. Well, again, we just want to say thank you to all of our listeners. This is episode 10 of Xbox Records. And guys, I want to give a special shout out right here. Somebody clip this. And when I say clip this, that means me. I'm going to be editing this.
Note to self.
I want to give a shout out to Lord Cognito, boys. Lord Cognito followed Xbox Record This. This is our first official follow from someone in the industry. He is the new co-host of Defining Duke over there in Last Stand Media. So he followed us. I need to send him I can write him a DM now because if you follow, you have the opportunity. So I'm going to send him a thank you.
Invite him on the show. Let's
exactly. We got to collaborate.
Yeah.
So Cog,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. I found you through, I first saw the Iron Lords podcast, you guys. And they all have all their names are Lord, and they're always talking about doing God's work. It's awesome. You check them out. I don't know if you guys have.
That's dope.
Iron Lords. They have their own podcast, but like I said, Lord Cognito, he is on Defining Duke. He just stepped in and replaced ACG Chance because ACG is out over there.
Yeah,
and awesome guy. They're so positive about gaming. I think it's going to be a perfect fit. So again, Cog, thanks for following us. Hopefully someday we could get you on the show. And I just want to personally thank you. And wish you continued success with Defining Duke, Iron Lords, and yeah, man, hopefully someday we can have our 100th episode like you guys have. You guys have hundreds of episodes, and maybe we'll have you on the show. So just throwing that out there. Lord Cognito, thank you for the follow, and hopefully you'll listen to our show someday. So that was exciting. That's the first exciting bit of news. And the next thing, obviously, was this amazing Commander Shepard helmet. Do you guys have anything exciting happen to you this week? Anyone? Anything cool? Oh, wait, actually, of course, Chapo Bear, go ahead. Talk to us about your trip.
So
I saw the cheetah, by the way. My gosh, scary. I would, that thing, killer right there. I'm not getting close to that little thing.
So we just got back from San Diego. Actually, last night at about 12:45 a.m. It was a late travel day for us, but a great trip overall. We spent 4 days in San Diego, and again, if you're new to the podcast, we're from Colorado, so we don't make it out to the West Coast a whole bunch. And so a lot of fun for the family. I mean, it was obviously a kid's trip for my 2 daughters. We took my in-laws as well. And we rented a car, and I actually got to live Daddy Diwali's life for a little bit. We drove a Chrysler Pacifica. I think it was a 2020 actually model, and it was
stow and go,
baller.
baby, stow and go.
It was very, very nice. It fit all of us plus our luggage, and did a great job while we were out in San Diego. Lots of good food. We did Legoland. We went to the San Diego Zoo. But what Daddy Diwali's referring to, just real quick, is that at the San Diego Zoo, my eldest daughter, she's 6.5, is in love with cats. Like, absolutely loves them. If you ever hear them meow during the show, that's me. And Daddy Diwali will promptly stop that. But we got to take this kind of semi-private tour right before the zoo even opened. So we were in the zoo without anyone else there, which was oddly kind of creepy, like Jurassic Park vibes. But as part of it, we saw a bunch of the cats in the thing, leopards, snow leopards, and lions and jaguars and stuff. And then it ended with us getting to meet a cheetah. And I mean, I thought we were going to get to touch the cheetah. We did not get to touch the cheetah, but it was no joke, like less than 3 feet from us, and not behind any cages or anything like that. It was with the handler, and very cool, very majestic animal. And I can run almost as fast as a cheetah. I run an 18-minute mile. So I was, it was like being in positive company overall, but it was a great trip. We'll talk more about it when we get to the food section, because I ate some really great stuff this week. But
Nice.
Great to be back in Colorado, and I actually start work in 2 days. So it was a great end of the summer.
I'm in person on Friday, Chance. How close were you to the cheetah again? About how many feet?
Less than 3 feet.
Oh my goodness! Was
Like
it
a
just
yardstick.
Looking at you? Was he just watching you the whole time? And did you hear it purr at all? Or
We could hear
anything
it
like
purr,
that?
actually.
Yeah.
Really cool. And there was someone there who was definitely slower than I was. So good news, if it was going to come after us, I would be all right. So that's good.
Yeah, Jose's referring to his small children, so he would just run.
No. What the other guest? Not my kid. I protect the kids. The cat, but the first. Come on now.
Yeah, you don't have to be the fastest. You just have to be the
not the
second
slowest.
Not
Yeah.
the slowest. Chance, did you do anything cool?
I was telling Chapeau before you got on, I officially switched over. I am fully Apple-ified. I got my iPhone 12 today. I got an Apple Watch.
You went back, huh? I got my watch.
Yeah, and mostly because I assume I'm gonna have a heart attack well before an appropriate time, and supposedly this new Apple Watch will tell me if I'm having one or not before I have to just
Facts. It's
keel
happened
over and
to
yeah.
multiple
No,
people.
I do, and I mean I kind of say it jokingly, but I also don't.
I just went out. You do know that there are Android watches that do the same properties.
They do. My goodness, that Galaxy Watch. I loved my phone. That Galaxy Watch was garbage.
Really?
I'm sorry. I know I don't want to rag on different things
Gotcha.
on here, but oof.
But I do notice I like my iPhone, but every time I see a new top of the line Android device, the screens always just look so much better. Like the build, Apple's great and all, but they do kind of give you lower quality, lower spec stuff. And I was like, oh, this is our Retina. But no, this is not. It's probably not even 4K like these 4K 120 screens
it's
that you
4K.
can get on some phones. Not all of them.
I
but
can-
I'm just saying.
and I-
But even
I
I'm
mean,
just
I
saying,
can-
even a lower model, not the Pro or whatever, doesn't compare to like a Samsung Galaxy lower model. Like it's a way better screen and it has a lot of cool things. Anyway, just bring over iMessage, Apple, so I can get off Android. Go ahead,
Nope.
Chance.
We got to get here with
No,
us in the blue bubble.
that's- Yeah, that's about it. So
You know, lead us. Anyway, I did do a special thing tonight, but I can't exactly talk about it. So I'm going to wait on that, boys, and I'll share it with you afterwards. Sorry. Basically, we had a family gathering, and I think you know for what, where you give gifts to a couple So I'm just gonna leave it at that. So
There was a
because-
hint dropped in the last
yeah,
episode,
well-
and Ashley picked it up.
Okay, well, see, we don't. Not all of our close friends know what I'm talking about, so it's not my place or ours to share that, and I already blew that with you guys. But anyway, so yeah, that's what we did tonight, and it was my mom's birthday on Saturday, so that was nice.
Oh, nice.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll talk about.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Late
We'll
happy
talk
I
about-
assume this will be revealed in some sort of Simpsons meme on the nerd chat.
Yes, referring to
perfect.
yes. Okay, so that will tie into the food, but guys, I'm excited. Let's talk about what we've been playing, and I got to go first here because you guys are gonna be like, "What?" You know, I talk a lot of crap on XRT about the games with gold, so I decided to put my money where my mouth is, and I downloaded Planet Alpha, the free game with gold for Xbox for this month, and I gotta tell you guys, I had a great time and I enjoyed it. I liked playing it more than Doom Eternal because Doom Eternal DLC was killing me. And like after I beat it, I was like, I need a break. I can't, I need to take a break. I had to drop it to easy. I would drop it to easy on the hard
I
encounters.
hear you.
And I was on normal the rest of the time. It's way harder than the base game. Okay. The base game I beat on normal legitimately all the way through. And you know that's an accomplishment, Jose, to do it on normal because that's not normal. That's hard. And
It absolutely
so
is. I couldn't do
I
it.
was exhausted. I was literally exhausted after beating the Ancient Gods Part 1. Really cool though. Loved it. I love Doom. I recommend to everyone to play Doom and Doom Eternal. I was talking to Swanee and Daniel. They both have not played Doom, either one of them. I'm like, what are you guys doing? It is a fantastic first-person shooter.
It is.
So I recommend the DLC, you guys. It's a lot of fun, but just know it's way harder than the base game. I paid the full price for the DLC. I wanted to support Bethesda, now Xbox. So I will continue that. But back to Planet Alpha. I'm going to give you a little quick review, guys. I'm going to give this pros. Felt like Limbo. It's a mix between Limbo and Inside. It's a platformer. I am a sucker for platformers, you guys. I love just simple mechanics of jumping, avoiding obstacles. There's some puzzle parts, and that's kind of the con. But I will say it was beautiful. Like the art style was very nice. Some of the best cloud effects I've seen. And I actually was reading some YouTube comments on one of the collectible videos I was doing, and they were saying the same thing. So very unique art style and a good length. It was about it took me about 5 hours. So those are the pros. Cons, I would say the puzzle parts were not always obvious. And I had to look up parts because I'd get stuck because I was like, what am I supposed to do? And it would be something simple. It wasn't like Limbo or Inside where it was easy to figure out. Like in those games, I feel like you only have to look up something if you're really just being dumb or you're just like being oblivious to something that's right there. This, I really was like, what are you supposed to do? And there, you die a lot. I die a lot. You are going to die all the time. It's like trial and error, similar to Limbo and Inside. But I felt like it was just too much. And there's this time mechanic where you can raise the sun and make it light or make it nighttime. And it's not always clear when to use it. So that was frustrating. There were a lot of times where I'm dying where I'm like, this is stupid and not fun. So where Limbo and Inside do a better job of making it obvious and rewarding, this one just it wasn't a good balance. It was more frustrating than fun. So overall, I'd give this if you're a fan of Limbo and Inside and platformers, I'd give this a 6 out of 10. This is an okay game. Actually, I forgot one last pro, you guys. The coolest part of the game is you would go into these portals, and you were forced into one, I believe, and then the rest were collectibles. And it kind of has this, there's lighter gravity, so you're jumping like way further and floating more. That was the funnest part of the game, and all of them. I went into 4 of them. I wish if the whole game was more focused around that kind of the physics, it would have easily been an 8 out of 10 for me because that part was really, really fun, really well done, really cool. I absolutely loved the less anti-gravity parts where you're jumping. Loved it. So guys, I'm here to say that the game with gold, Planet Alpha, is absolutely worth your time if you like platformers such as Limbo and Inside. So that's like I said, a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed it. 5 hours, and that was doing everything, and deleted, and now I'm good to go. So for free, absolutely love it. Sweet. And then another random one, you guys, Streets of Rage 4. I started to play on Game Pass.
If you would.
I just wanted to play a brawler, and I'm liking it. You know, I only beat the first level. I just started it last night, but it's who doesn't love a TMNT inspired brawler? You know, I never played actually the original Streets of Rage, so it's really different for me. So that's what I've been playing.
And you could argue that I think Streets of Rage came before Eternals, so like the original Streets of Rage
no, I
was
know
the inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, I'm just such a big Turtles fan. But you're right. It's Streets of Rage was before, and but yeah, I'm having fun. So, Chance,
I
what
played
about you?
that one. I played that one on my phone. That was one of the very first games I ever played on the cloud gaming on my old Android.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Did you beat it?
ran just fine. I stopped. I probably should get back into it, but I mean, I guess we could probably. Is it co-op?
Yeah, I was gonna say we should do co-op.
We should
Yeah,
play it together. Yeah, because I can also next time I'll be able to play it and have a review with the backbone for this bad boy.
Oh, sweet! You ordered one?
So
Oh,
Nice,
I
man.
can't wait for that.
yeah.
What
I'm
did you
excited.
get? An iPhone 12? You said.
Yes.
I wonder what I have. Okay.
Um,
Anything else
What have
that
I
you
been
played?
playing? Yeah, I'm excited to say this. So I fired up Yakuza Like a Dragon, and it's fun. Cordy Morgs has to play it. I meant to tell him that when I talked to him earlier today, because man, if you are into anything Nihonjin, it is right up your alley.
What's
it is
that
as
mean?
Japanese. That's Japanese for Japanese.
You Japanese got it.
Nihon is Japan in Japanese. Sorry.
Yeah, so man, holy cow! Down to the you raise your HP with the little boss coffees, Jose. Like remember that-
snap!
and there's
Seriously?
vending, yeah, with
Do
the
they have
guys.
Chuhais in there?
Oh, just
I
for a little bit of
didn't see
context,
Chuhais.
guys,
They
both
had-
of these guys, hold on, we traveled to Japan together for escorting
times,
high school
actually.
kids.
3 times,
So
yes.
I've never been. I'm jealous, but so yes. So we
I
have.
feel like we've spent a chunk of life in Japan, and loved it. I think we got burnt out in the last one, but we could talk about that some other time. CC Lemon, Picari Sweat, like dude, it
That's
was
so
pretty
rad,
cool.
dude. That's so cool to hear.
Yeah,
Okay.
and because it is as Japanese gets, the food, like you eat, all the pictures of the food took me back.
Chance,
they
can I ask you really quick? Did
Yeah,
you
go
play
ahead.
any of the other Yakuzas?
I didn't. No.
Okay,
this is
so
the
I
first
started
one.
0, so I'm like, yeah, this sounds exactly like what I've been playing. How is he not surprised? Any reason why you did Like a Dragon and not starting with the original all the way back?
Because I have a Series X and it's the only one made.
Dude,
for
0
Series
looks
X,
insane.
and
You should start from the beginning. I'm just
this-
saying you got to go back
This
now.
looks
You're going to.
pretty good. It's great. Takoyaki. They had, of course, and I make this joke. I've never heard anyone else make it, but about how don't ever order tacos in Japan, because you're gonna get octopus instead of delicious tacos. And I was running down the street in the main city, and there was this big, like, overly Mexican sombrero man standing there, and he was like, tacos, and they're like, oh yeah, but you can't get filled up on tacos. And it's like, oh no, not octopus. So it was funny. Like, it was such an inside joke that only probably I got. But a lot of story involved in that game too. A lot of story. It's
very dialogue heavy. It's a lot. It's you could watch. Me and Jay Biz actually played 0. We were talking about 0. You could watch these on YouTube almost, but I hope that the gameplay is better on. Sorry.
Yeah, the combat is decent. It feels fairly repetitive to me, but I also haven't changed jobs, which is a whole dynamic in its own. I'm loving the mini games though, and that's what they're kind of known for, is those mini games. And I played the game today for probably an hour and a half, and I was playing 2 mini games the entire time. I was playing the Top Golf mini game and where you create your own business, and I was just having a blast and forgot that I even had an actual video game.
Yeah, there's
to
like
play.
so much you could do in that. Like it's crazy, all the side stuff.
And the Top Golf I didn't even know was a thing. I literally just ran into this store thinking it was something else. because as you know, Jose, and in Japan, the advertising is, you think advertising's bad in America. Oh my God, it's nothing.
Well, and because we don't speak Japanese, let's be real honest. So like it's just like a wall of things, and we're going by the pictures, and that is not always a great policy in a foreign country.
And it's so cool because it's just like, man, it took me back, and it kind of made me want to go to Japan, which was cool. So hopefully next week could have an official XRT review of it, but I'm definitely glad I booted it up for free.
Sweet.
Nice. But what about you?
So,
your trip, yeah.
Well, but I did get to play, so that's the crazy part. So I'm actually for our viewers on YouTube, I'm going to show you a quick screenshot of my computer real quick. There's a really important picture over here on the left of me sitting on the airplane.
Wait a second. You're telling me you have the ability to just take over my screen and my recording on Riverside. Rowie, I don't know if I like this, man. I want control of my studio. Okay, don't let the assistant to the co-host get in here and just start showing his screen. But anyway, go ahead.
Anyway,
go ahead.
So for those that don't know, I'm like 6'2" and big guy, and so on planes I don't have a lot of space. And the problem with the Nintendo Switch, as I'm sure many of our listeners know, is that if it's on a table, it sits at a very steep angle if you put the kickstand out. And so I was trying to think of a way on the night before of how can I play this on the air flight without like hurting my neck? And sure enough, got a little MacGyverish and grabbed 2 command hooks and some rubber bands, and it was awesome. I highly recommend it. And it worked on the hard plastic seat, and it worked on the like actual vinyl on the way home. We didn't have the same plane, and so it worked really, really well. But I got to play a lot of Nintendo Switch. I know you guys both sold yours, but I actually saved mine between my kids and specifically for this reason, traveling. And I actually played a couple of throwbacks. The first was Zombies Ate My Neighbors from Super Nintendo. I don't know if you guys ever remember that game, but they have a pack right now you can get. I think it was $15 for that one. And
I think I saw that on the Switch, and I almost
Ghoul Patrol.
Yeah,
it was $15, and so I was like, God, I gotta pick it up. And man, it was super cool, super hard, way harder than I remember as a kid. Even though I remember it being hard as a kid, and I think I got through World 4 on my own, and then I kind of switched over. And then I also was playing Super Mario U, which was kind of like a Mario reboot, if you will, but it's a side-scrolling kind. And I was actually able to play with Penelope a little bit on the plane, and I took my Pro Controller, and it worked fantastically. So not through either of them. I will eventually, probably a very long time, get through them and do the official reviews for here at XRT. But that's what I was playing this week on the trip. I didn't get a lot of other time otherwise because of the trip itself, but good week nonetheless.
My favorite part about that picture is the little sign that says literature only. Like, that's just so funny to me that like someone was spinning in their grave. Plus the fact that they have to write that on an airplane. You know, they only do things like that because some flight attendant found something that should have never been in one of those pockets.
Yeah. So good times.
What did you guys think of the Switch OLED announcement? Any interest there, guys? Or
no, and I keep reading things that are like, this is what they needed, but again, Nintendo can do no wrong, right?
No, it's because it's double storage, right? And the screen is like 0.8 inches bigger or something like that. But it gets the same battery life. It's the same hardware.
That was
otherwise,
disappointing. And I remember I believe it or not, actually when we went on Bros Badge 2014, Chance, I had a Vita, and it was an OLED model, and I remember I could see image retention on that OLED when I would turn it off, and it was getting to the point where I was playing Limbo. I was like seeing stuff from other games I'd be playing. I'm like, this sucks. This is like, is this burn-in? Because I might have gotten it pre-owned. So I know you have your OLED and you love it, but I think this is concerning. OLED burn-in, yeah. Still, burn-in happens, man. And like, I don't know. Anyway, go ahead, Chance. About that.
I just it didn't do it for me. Like I said, all it did was make me more excited to see my backbone come in.
Yeah, I'm just more excited. As soon as they do an upgraded hardware, then I'll get it. I need something that.
Well, you need 4K. Even docked OLED doesn't do 4K. It's 1080, right?
Yeah, it's still that's the same thing. You can get 1080.
And it's a 720 screen portably
on the OLED. Yeah, so whatever, Nintendo. You're right. Then I'm sure they're going to sell it like crazy. But Nintendo is going to be Nintendo. Let's get into the Xbox news, you guys. So before we start, actually, Jose and Chance, did you guys see the all-in-one tweet from the
Boys to Men?
No, it's not Boys to Men.
It's all for one.
All for
Yeah,
one.
all
Sorry.
for one. Yeah.
Sorry.
All
Yeah,
in
yeah,
one
yeah,
is
yeah.
the name of the song. And what's their I swear.
That's
by
Boys
They
to
had a
Men.
bunch of
though.
jams, dude.
Okay,
the
well
record.
isn't that the one that they're
That's one of them. It's like top 10, top
okay.
5
So
probably.
what did you guys think of the marketing there?
I thought it was great. That system doesn't do anything for me. The whole like ultimate access or all access
Xbox All
pass.
Access, yeah.
Yeah. I think it's probably great for somebody on a strict budget that doesn't just have $500
Exactly.
to spend. Again, it's not for me though, so I wasn't. I thought it
Yeah,
was hilarious.
it was cool,
great,
yeah. And I just want to, I completely agree. It may not be for us because we're fortunate enough to, to be able to buy these things. But I mean, if this was me in college for $35 a month, heck yeah. And get Game Pass. Like you literally, $35 will get you in for a Series X. It's less for a Series S and Game Pass, like right away. $35 is all you need. And obviously you need to have credit too, but I'm sure it's not crazy. So I think that's really cool. Like Jose always pushes, accessibility is huge. That's an awesome way for more people to get to the console. I thought it was hilarious. I'm not like the biggest all for one, but I do know some of their songs. And like Jose said, they definitely have some jams, but supposedly there's going to be more. There's that Nickelback tease that they also did too. So
That's
I'm
a
excited to
mistake.
see what they're what they're doing. I never made it as a wise man. Anyway, so I couldn't get. Okay, so there's gonna be more. I'm super excited. I just want to say, and I remember hearing this on I think it was on Kind of Funny. Shout out to Snowbike Mike, just saying how it's awesome to see this side of Xbox just being positive and having fun. Like it wasn't like this when the launch of the Xbox One came,
No.
right? It was a totally different feeling to it. Like now Xbox feels like they're firing on all cylinders. We just showed you Bethesda. We got Game Pass. We have awesome consoles, the upper end with the Series X, and then the more accessible Series S for the not so serious. We have games coming. We've shown them to you, and they're just having fun. And like every week, I remember him saying it seems like they're in the news, and that's right. Like that's a great way.
That's where you want to be, man.
Exactly. You want to have that positive, just kind of marketing going. And Sony did have a state of play, but it's just. I noticed like every system actually had big news this week, right? Because it was the OLED, and then this all access stuff was going on, and then Sony had a state of play with what game did they show? I don't even know. Who cares? And it's just weird. Sony's just become so like business person. We have the console. We have the most greatest first party games, and then Nintendo's doing an OLED and whatever. But then Xbox is just out here having fun. And I love that. So I just want to give a shout out. Xbox marketing, I'm sure you guys follow them on Twitter. On point, especially Game Pass. Game Pass is hilarious. Whoever they hired to do that, they're killing it. And so that along with the mini fridge and just when there was the announcements of the Series S, there was that monkey meme like looking like what is this when they hadn't even announced it. Like they've just been killing it with marketing. So I'm just happy to see Xbox have it. They're having fun. And again, like Chance said, giving more people a way to get to it, even though, it's not really something for us. It was cool to see. So I just want to shout out Xbox marketing. First story, kind of related to Xbox, I just wanted to bring up and see your thoughts on this. And this is coming from Dalton Cooper on Game Rant, Xbox Live Gold is reportedly going to go away and be discontinued. According to a reputable industry insider, Microsoft plans to eventually get rid of its Xbox Live Gold service. So according to Jeff Grubb, shout out Jeff Grubb, Colorado boy, Microsoft still plans on phasing out its Xbox Live Gold service eventually. Speaking on Grubb Snacks, his podcast, Grubb reiterated a claim he made last year that Xbox Live Gold is going to be discontinued. I've said that Xbox Live is going to go away, Grubb said. Whether or not they're actively talking about it right now, I don't know, but they still have it on the roadmap saying Xbox Live Gold will be dropped at some point in the future. And he's thinking, or maybe it's just rumored, once they reach a certain amount of Game Pass subscribers, maybe 40 to 50 million, that they'll get rid of Gold. So, Jose, what do you think about Xbox Live Gold being discontinued? To me, this makes sense. I thought they were going to do it earlier, but the more I think about it with the Game Pass numbers going up, that kind of makes more sense to me.
Absolutely. I that's exactly what I would say. I would say Gold, when you think about why they created Gold, right? So for those that don't know or that are relatively new to Xbox, when you first had the Xbox Online, you had to pay basically to play online multiplayer. So this predates the era of like Warzone, right? Where Warzone is free for everyone online. You just have to have internet access. You had to actually pay to have Xbox to be able to get on the system or Xbox Live, sorry, to be able to get online and play with your friends and stuff and socialize. And so it made sense for them to say like, what can we give people in addition to the service to draw them to us, right? And so they said, we're going to give you 2 or 3 games. Usually one of them was like maybe A-list, but more like a B-list game. And then the other one was kind of like a wild card game. And so it makes sense to me that in the era of Game Pass that they're just going to say like, look, we're not going to do that anymore, because the whole idea premise was also that like, look, if you're loyal and you come every month and you come to the store and you come back and you log in, you could theoretically download all these games to play at some point whenever you want to, assuming you have the hard drive space and that kind of stuff. And so what I would prefer, obviously, is just get rid of Gold Pass, put all the games on Game Pass that I can play anytime. I don't have to worry about eating up all my hard drive space. And I would actually love to see them do is get rid of Gold, add all those games to Game Pass if they can, and then actually maybe create like a featured section of Game Pass to say like, hey, this month we're highlighting these
really
3
cool.
games, an A-list, and then maybe a couple indie ones as well. I think that would do them, I mean, if not the same amount of service, a better service. So that's what I would like to see. Totally makes sense to me, though, otherwise.
Chance, what about you?
I wonder in terms of accessibility, just who is out there. Maybe I'm thinking like other countries where just having it is hard enough, and then having this reliable internet or not, that is a major step up just to have it. That there's must be a market for it, right? Like you said, they're pretty smart in what they're doing, and they have people getting paid to figure that stuff out. So it's hanging around for a reason. But it won't affect me. I mean, and
We're already part of the
okay.
greatest service ever.
Yep.
Yeah, no, Jose, you bring up a really good point, and I like that. I didn't even think about that. Could they add the previous games with gold that have already been released and add them to Game Pass? That's a lot of games, and some of them probably have been, but
well, even moving forward, even if they couldn't retroactively, they just say, but for moving forward, we're just going to feature them and then just know that they're in Game Pass, because then, I mean, maybe that could be part of their social media push. That could be just what brings people over to the console in addition to these other things, like I said, the all-in stuff. Like that's just smart.
Yeah, I like the. Go ahead, Chance. Are you going to say?
Well, I was going to say they could do I was thinking, so one of the giveaways could be maybe like a DLC for the game. This is on, so say Horizon Mexico's been on Game Pass for a year now.
Yeah, I like that.
The next November, they're like, hey, our games with gold we're going to give away the
Lego DLC,
maybe it'll be
whatever.
micro machines.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, and I think they are headed to that, because you can kind of see we make fun of the selection of the games. And I think that's a part of it, because they'd rather focus on putting all these awesome games onto Game Pass now, not games with gold. So,
and speaking of how good those games are, Jose, pop quiz, what was the game D-Wally reviewed earlier tonight?
Alpha something. I don't know. He was like, I
Planet
downloaded
Alpha.
a gold game, but I was like, oh, I'm gonna have a drink of my beer over here. Have fun.
guys, I'm telling you, Planet Alpha, Chance, you'd like it. It's worth your time. A little too much walking too. That was the other thing. I wanted more jumping, but anyway.
What was the name?
Planet Alpha. You got 50%.
I got
of it.
Alpha.
You
I
were
got
pretty
Alpha.
close. I got to give you
No,
credit.
I'm sorry to do that to you. I
it's
couldn't help
good.
it.
It's all good. No, I think it would be smart if they got rid of it. Since we're already going to free to play for a lot of games, you don't need gold to play. I think this is where they're going to get to. And that quote on getting a certain amount of Game Pass subscribers, that makes more sense. So moving on to story number 2. Bloober team confirms it is working on 2 projects, both bigger in scope than the medium. This is coming from our good friend Nibel over on Twitter, where I get all of my news. Bloober also says that the discovered game concept and infos from an EU funding site are outdated. So basically they're making Layers of Fear 2 is one of them. There's another game that's on ice, and then Black is a new concept game. There are also rumors that Konami, actually not rumors, it was confirmed that Konami was pairing up with Bloober team. So rumors of that Black new concept game maybe being a new Silent Hill game. Unfortunately, I don't think either of you played the medium. I believe I'm the only one who played it. Is that correct?
As of correct. I do want to play it. It is on my list. It's just not high on my list.
it's gotten mixed reviews. Some people love it and think this is like Bloober's greatest games, or some people are like, this sucks. Like I remember on Darnie Duke and some of the kind of funny guys too, they're always like, this is not that great of a game. I thought it was interesting. I see the potential for a sequel. I think it was a good first attempt, and I do think it's worth your time. It's not very long. It is spooky, but not too scary. The two worlds thing is a gimmick, but it's cool. I think it's worth your time, and I think you should see the talk on it. It's worth your time. So, having said that, Chance, did you play Layers of Fear?
I did. Yeah.
Okay, and that was by them. Sorry, Jose, what were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was gonna ask what your medium playtime was, like your total playtime.
It was probably like a 8 to 12 hour game, if that, probably around that. So I mean, and maybe less, because again, I had to get 1,000, so doing stupid collectibles. But it's worth your time for sure. But no, before you play anything, Jose, we already know Alan Wake.
It's next priority on my list after Mass Effect.
Dude,
it's priority
push
one.
Cyberpunk even further back, because it's still broke. Still not optimized. Wait till they release the official game of the year optimized. We give you the free Series X upgrade before you get into Cyber. It's not worth your time now. It's already too late, dude. You're gonna be back to work. It's over.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm back to work, so I don't know. We'll see. We're sidetracking. Let's talk Layers of Fear, Bubble Boy. What do you got?
So yeah, Chance.
I liked it. It was fun, and again, it wasn't anything like world breaking.
What kind of game was it? I don't even know.
What do you call those? I don't know why they call them these, but action adventure, right? Where it's like not a lot of combat, very little combat, but you're walking through.
Sounds like the medium.
No, gosh, and it's first person. Why can't I
Walking
think of
simulator.
like Edith Finch and Gone
Walking
Home.
Simulator.
Well, yeah. It was good. I would play something for sure, but that they did again. I thought that was well done. When I see all the Silent Hill stuff, I'm just like, I don't know why we haven't seen it sooner with the success of the Resident Evil 2 reboot. And I know they're different games, and I get it, but like, man, how have they not done that yet? Because I think you could argue that the most notable bad guy from any of those games is Pyramid Head, right? And
straight up,
yep. And those nurses,
dude,
from Silent Hill 2.
First Silent Hill was messed up. It still haunts
me.
I
remember it.
But it either means they're working on a new IP of Silent Hill, and that's why they're not doing the reboot, or they're just missing the ball. It's got to be one of those two things.
Yeah,
yeah, and I can't imagine they're just totally missing the boat right after. Even if Resident Evil 2 didn't have the success it did, they'd still be wanting to jump on all the reboot stuff.
I wonder when the last Silent Hill game was.
It was a long time ago.
Was there even one on 360? Like a 360 PS3
No, because there was that, what was it called? It was the PS2 hidden game. It was like
PSP, PS2.
PT, right? Okay. Isn't PT the one that was like...
Oh, well, that was... Oh, you're right.
It was like a hidden one on the store for a little bit. It was supposed to be a prequel or something. No,
that was a demo. That was the announcement that Hideo Kojima was going to work on Silent Hills.
That's right. That's what it was.
And it was released on PlayStation.
It
was a demo, and it took over the world, and I kind of wish I'd played it.
It was scary.
But then they pulled it because Konami broke off with
the contract
Kojima,
broker, right, or something.
Yeah, and then they pulled that demo off the store, and so the only way you can play that is if you have it downloaded to your PlayStation. And like you can go on eBay and like people are selling them for a lot of money because it's got the PT.
The demo on it. Yep.
I like Silent Hill, Jose, but I'm just like, I don't know. Is it really like a system seller, or is it that big of a game? Like I can't even. It's been. So
I think it's a cult following thing, right? So it's like some people probably hear me talk about Resident Evil and they're like, oh God, he won't shut up about it. It's just it means so much to me in my childhood and my upbringing with games that it's just like it's an awesome experience. And I think a lot of people feel the same way about Silent Hill. And to be fair, both Resident Evil and Silent Hill were it's like a genre defying set of games. And even though they had different levels of success and some of their follow-ups were not as well received or well received, it's still, again, it's a monumental game for the history of games, and something we'll talk about a little bit later when we get to our good old days section. But I think they'd just be doing themselves a disservice to not do even just a HD remake. Even if they didn't change anything and they just updated like textures and stuff, people would still love to play it on modern consoles, running at much better hardware and stuff like that. Because again, a lot of what limited those games early on was actually the hardware. Like the games probably could have been cooler, but they just were limited by 16-bit, 32-bit graphics, that kind of stuff. And so I just think they should, but that's just me. But we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens.
It's weird. Like, why don't more companies just re-release these PS1 games up-res, kind of like, you know, the Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, and just have them with sharp graphics?
Square Enix has been doing that. I mean, because you can play ports of them now forever and ever. That you can only get them on like ROMs and emulators and stuff.
I guess, can you play Resident Evil on PS4? I don't even know if you can. Maybe you can on PS3. I know you can on PS3, but yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't just be like, hey, let's just up-res this and make this a sharp 4K. I can't imagine that's that difficult to do.
Yeah.
And just keep it the exact same. Not even do a remake like Resident Evil 2, but I don't know. Good luck to Bloober team. I'll play it. I would play a second medium as well. So I'm excited, happy for them. Some people are down on them, but like let's see what they do first before we judge the game. Obviously, next one, ladies and gentlemen, a little state of emergency here. We lost Bubble Boy N7, and he just sent me a text.
He sprinted away.
He said he gave me the timeout, and then he just said caca. Emergency caca is what he said in his text. So I believe that means he has acidic diarrhea, as Dr. Disrespect likes to say. So of course, he leaves right when I want to talk about Assassin's Creed, and he's an Assassin's Creed guy. So let's move on to,
let's jump over to Bethesda.
I have news on Bethesda.
Yeah. You talked about the Fallout 76 Steel Rain stuff?
Oh, no. I skipped that. Who cares about that, guys? Go play Fallout 76 if you want to. Let's skip to this one, Jose. Because I know Chance is going to have something to say about Assassin's Creed because he's played all of them. This is, again, coming from Nibel over on Twitter. This is July 5th. A recent Grand Theft Auto 6 leak by Tom Henderson has been corroborated by Jason Schreier. Jason Schreier, a very famous reporter for Bloomberg, and he always has a lot of breaking news. So basically, GTA 6 will be set in modern day, have an evolving map in Vice City, multiple protagonists. I like that. I like that about GTA 5. Expected around 2024 or 2025. And Schreier said, he kind of corroborated, says, I don't know why everyone said that GTA 6 was coming in 2023. Everything Tom Henderson has said about the game matches up with what I've heard. So, Jose, first of all, did you play Vice City? I know you're not the biggest Grand Theft.
I did not. I saw it played. I played a little bit with Chance when we were younger. Seen it, but I did not play it front to back.
Okay, yeah, agreed. And I think I started this on my phone of all things, because I think the collection game to iPhone or iOS and Android and everything. So for me, this will be exciting because I know nothing about Vice City. I'm sure it's a pretty cool setting. I can see Miami being a cool thing. What are your thoughts on the timeline of it? First of all, do you think it's going to make that 24, 25, which I said is when I believe the next Elder Scrolls would be coming out. So 4 or 5 years away. And
it's a big year.
Would you rather it be back in the 80s like the original Vice City was, or do you want it more modern day? Tell me what you're thinking, Jose.
I mean, I think we wax, specifically to the question of the 80s, I think we wax nostalgic for that era, right? There's a lot of reasons why people come and get excited to have.
I think the 80s suck. Like,
for the record, we were both born in the 80s.
That doesn't mean that we have to think
that
it was.
bad.
We were babies during the 80s. It's not like we knew what was going on or it was cool then. But I mean, Back to the Future, that's about it. Well,
I mean, I like neon colors and stuff and some of the music. Anyway, I here's what I would say. I really like when games put stuff in the modern era. I do occasionally like the throwbacks, but I think that happens a lot. And I think GTA has had enough iterations that I would like to see a modern iteration again. But in like current gen system, modern reincarnate, like I think that's a really cool way to go. I really want that for Assassin's Creed. Speaking of, like, I want to do an Assassin's Creed that is set in the modern day with like guns of all things. I know that sounds crazy, but we'll get to that another time. But I think it'd be cool. I'll be honest. I'm curious to know other than developing 6, I know there's an insane amount of work that's going to go into this, especially if there is truly a dynamic map system. That will be pretty cool if they can pull that off. But what are they going to do for the next couple of years? Like, I know GTA 5 Online is still doing pretty well. There's a pretty robust community of people
we're
that
supposed
play
to
it.
get the update this year for that.
Yeah, for
Series
the
X and
next.
PS5.
I mean, and maybe that'll be enough to tide people over, but that just seems like a lot, unless they're going to have some new
Red Dead
DLC or
2.
stuff like that. I mean, just like that's a long time. And granted, again, I'm not saying that it's like so easy to just come up with a whole new story and all the protagonists, but that's a long time. And we're not even to 2022 yet. We're barely halfway through 2021. So I don't know.
Chance, we're just talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 rumors set in modern day, Vice City evolving map, 2024, 25. Did you play? I'm assuming you played Vice City. I think.
Oh yeah, in fact, I'm gonna bring it up later for some. I guess I can spoil the surprise that was the first game I bought as a, like, I was allowed to buy a rated M game by myself.
Oh my goodness!
Yep,
You dog.
Vice
So,
City.
does this news excite you, Chance, or could Grand Theft Auto literally do anything and you would be excited? That's how I think I would word it. They could do whatever they want. I would play it, and I know it's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah, and it's the same kind of thing that we've said about like the new Elder Scrolls game. That I just, like, take your time with it, make it excellent.
Smart.
We're going to love it, right? And we're all going to put entirely too much time into it when it comes out. I would be perfectly happy with, kind of like they did with 5, if it was the very end of this generation, because that's all the trial. Let these other people do trial and error and figure out how to use the right engines and put.
Yeah,
this
but 2024,
horsepower to its
25 is not
max.
going to be the end of this generation. That's too soon to do that.
No, but
It's
that's
going to
what I
line
don't
up
think.
with our mid-generation cycle refresh, boys. I'm just throwing that out there.
No, so what I'm saying though is I'd be okay if they waited on it.
Especially
I just
us.
can't, and that's what as I was playing Yakuza the other day and running through the streets, I was like, because that's a gorgeous game. I was like, oh my god, imagine if Grand Theft Auto had graphics like this. I can't even. I can't imagine it.
I'm interested to see what they do with this update. I hope it can improve performance, but who knows how much they're willing to do. Just loading times alone would be huge. But I'm on the side of GTA 5. What is it? 2K? They can do and whatever they want, take as much time as they want, and whatever they do, I'm gonna play it, and I'm excited. So, absolutely love Grand Theft Auto. Not for the reasons most people do, just like, all the crazy stuff. I genuinely appreciate the amount of detail and story and acting that those games. Like Trevor, like he's a real star now, and that was like his breakout acting wise, was playing Trevor in Grand Theft Auto 5. So. And being on Breaking Bad, like it's just crazy. So shout out to Grand Theft Auto. Take your time.
Yep.
Chance, let's move on to the next story. And this one I know is going to be a big one for you since you're an AC boy as well. Jason Schreier over on Bloomberg. This is coming from his Twitter. New, the future of Assassin's Creed is a live service. Ubisoft, Montreal, and Quebec have teamed up for Assassin's Creed Infinity, a huge platform plan to have multiple settings. But after the reorganization, several men accused of abuse remain in charge. I'm going to skip that part because I don't know all the details of that, so I'm going to skip that. Basically, traditionally, Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed teams in Montreal and Quebec would alternate projects. Montreal led Origins, which is one of my favorites. Quebec led Odyssey, and then Montreal did Valhalla. Ooh, maybe I need to play Valhalla soon here. Now that's changing. Both teams are working on Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is years away, but planned as a live service platform. So basically, guys, it probably won't be out until 2024 or later. What do you think of Assassin's Creed, Chance, becoming a live service game and not a single player RPG that is endless and can consume 100 hours of your life, already not even being a live service game?
I love this announcement. I'm so excited because I finally get to jump off the Assassin's Creed train.
Wow.
That's not where you thought I was going with that,
Did
did
not see this coming, guys. Well, maybe I should have.
I'm ready. I need to. And this, I saw it, and I literally, the first thing I thought was, thank God. Like if they had done something what they should have done a long
Japan.
time ago, which Japan exactly. Yeah, thank you for helping me cut ties to something that I just really don't need any more of at this point. And I'm as
You're
big
ready
an
to move
Assassin's
on.
Creed fan as they come. I still think it's obviously not a spoiler at this point. What happens in that first game, man, I'll never forget that moment playing on my parents' couch on their ottoman, not even on the couch actually, on the ottoman in front of their TV. When you're like, wait, it's in the future.
Yeah.
Just incredible. And the puzzles in 2 that I just
And that was like platforming too. You had to do it in a certain amount of time, right? Oh my gosh.
And Valhalla was good, and it looked incredible, and I liked it. It was good. I'm ready to be done.
Wow. So, guys, Bubble Boy in 7 feels free now. He doesn't have to worry about Assassin's Creed anymore. He's played them all.
It's like Shawshank
Probably gotten
up in
every.
here.
This man got 1,000 of 1,000 on Odyssey, and then got the platinum on PS4. So which is insane.
Of Odyssey, this like double
exactly.
played the game.
Odyssey is insane. He didn't get all the DLC, but I still can't believe that chance. Like me and Jose spent so much time on that game.
Dude,
And
no
I don't
way.
even know why.
I couldn't.
That's what's deterring me from playing it. You don't see any positives about this, like playing with other assassins. I think that would be kind of cool. And Unity, that was kind of cool, both assassinating people, even though that I almost want to go back and play that, by the way, but not at all chance.
It's one of those things that, and I can remember talking to Scott Hargeth about this when I remember first meeting him, man, going back to Japan days here, and him being like, how come you guys never got into World of Warcraft? And I was like, because I knew it would take over, like, and especially back then. And I don't have time for that anymore, right? I know I'm not going to, and there's going to be too many other good things coming out.
Just to clarify, and you can call me the noob for this or whatever. When they say online, are you assuming they're going to talk about MMORPG, right? Like a massive, like like Elder Scrolls Online did. Is that what you think they're talking about with the live, or what do you think they're going to do with the live service?
No, I think it's going to be more like Destiny, where it's going to be like in a hub world. You can hang out with other assassins.
Yeah, you do like raid
or
battles
the Division,
together, right?
And then and then go into the campaign together, or do it by yourself, which is cool.
Got it.
And then it's just going to continue to evolve with updates like Destiny 2, like the Division. Okay. And I mean, like I like playing games with other people, unlike Bubble Boy, who'd rather just play single player games the rest of his life. I enjoy both. And so I see the potential for a co-op Assassin's Creed experience. I think that's cool. And being able to customize your assassin the way you want and have it, like co-op missions, this kind of maybe gives me hope for something to fill that void of playing Splinter Cell co-op, a stealth game, going back to the basics. But at the same time,
yeah, but how do you truly do a stealth game online like that? Because like, yeah, Division and Destiny, all those are like you literally just run and gun, and it's like the more the merrier. How do you do that stealth wise?
Maybe I'm hoping that Ubisoft is these two teams who have been alternating, working together, and it's years out. We'll figure that out, Jose. I think if they can execute this, I think it could be something cool.
Think of our friend group, and we're playing together, and we're like, all right, guys, even if we were all together and said, all right, we're going to sneak up, we all know that someone like Goose would be like, I'm going. Yeah, and he would like run.
Leroy Jenkins. Oh my God, he went in. Yeah,
it's exactly what happened.
But I'm thinking like Destiny, you can play like Chance did. He played, I'm sure, Destiny's campaign all by himself. He didn't play it co-op. Like,
yeah, I guess.
I think it comes down to if they can execute or not. I think there's potential here. I agree with Chance, though. I'm over these games. Like, I literally have not bought Valhalla because I'm intimidated by its size. That's what she said. And I just can't commit to these 100-hour. And I know this is all me. Like, this is, you could probably get through that game in probably like 20 hours. But I don't know, guys. Like, I appreciated Planet Alpha. Again, 5 hours. I had a great time. Chance, go ahead.
It's that constant evolving and that feeling, because I'll get the FOMO, that feeling of like, oh, Chapo went on vacation and now the rest of us are just heads and tails above him, kind of thing, right? Like I'm worried that it's not
4 days of no gaming, and I'm like, I'm behind. I have to catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't know.
I
It'd
feel
be
that,
great
man.
if it was cooler than if it's something better, and
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold my breath.
Exactly. I hope it is something better. I will wait to see. But if it's not, again, I can't do these games that feel like jobs. Like I always want to get back into Destiny 2 chance because it is beautiful. It's got great mechanics. But then I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like I have to grind and these light. It's never ending, and it doesn't feel
Correct.
fun. And
Correct.
I really appreciate 343 saying we don't want Halo to feel like a job, and that's how it should be. Like we actually jumped into Halo 5 last night with Swanee and Dan. We got our butts kicked, by the way. It was terrible because I'm so used to Doom controls. Chance I've been using B to boost, and so I was pushing that to like try to do the boost, which is slide in Halo, and I'm like, oh gosh, this is terrible. But so I don't want games to feel like jobs, and as we get more and more to our agedness, I just don't have the time for that. Except for unless it's Mass Effect or Elder Scrolls, then I'm just gonna or Fallout. Then I'll just play hundreds of hours of that. So good luck to Ubisoft.
I
I hope it works out for him.
Yeah.
I hesitate to put too much stock in what they're labeling it as right now because they still label. It always drives me nuts that starting with Origins, they're like it's an RPG now. I'm like, there's nothing role playing about those games. If you know what an actual RPG is, it's not even close. Like it's not an RPG when you get everything on the grid all the time, right? Like you're not choosing a specific role when you get everything. I don't know. I think they just put levels in, and that's what makes people think an RPG is now. I don't know.
Yeah. And to be honest, Chance, I never liked it when it made that switch. I preferred the
I didn't
older
either.
games.
Yeah. Oh,
when
yeah.
I was an assassin going to play like this. Now this makes me regret not buying the Ezio collection when it was $11 because I should replay those because now you're making me think of those cool puzzles and the platforming and the
I remember the
churches.
one with the Supreme Court justices, yeah, and the climbing up the church, and I don't remember what the solution was.
And the super
but
cool
I
jump
remember
in.
playing it with Chapeau in our
that's right. I
apartment.
remember you guys talking
and we had the two TVs, and I can't
the puzzle,
remember if
that's
we.
right.
I don't think we were playing it at the same time, but we definitely. If it was mine that did it first or yours that did it first, like both sat there for like 2 hours and we're like, we are not cheating on this.
We're gonna figure this puzzle out,
This
man.
up. We
Yeah,
can
I
figure
remember.
this out.
Yep. So guys, there were these puzzles in Assassin's Creed where I don't even know how you guys solve these, but basically they're at the end of these challenges, and so Jose and Chance, they're purists, like Pony only walking and no fast traveling in Skyward. These guys they're like, we can't look up the solution to this, and I can't do that.
We just like puzzles. We're big puzzle guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big
and
puzzle
again,
guys.
that's the kind of co-op stuff that like that's a memory that's burned into my brain and is just so cool and brings back just nostalgia times 1,000 for that game.
Well, speaking of the good old days, do we want to go into that's the news, guys? That's all I really wanted to cover. There were some other things, but I feel like that we had some good conversations there. And again, I'm going to wait till we see these games before we judge them. But Jose, why don't you give us your question first? Because yours was. Is this the good old days or is this reader? Yeah, yours is the good old days. Why don't we jump in? Let's talk about the good old days, Jose. Why don't you let us know what you're thinking?
Yeah, for the listeners out there, I was talking today with Chance and Dan about something that I thought about. I don't know why I thought about it on this trip, but it came to mind for some reason. Was thinking about, obviously now we are much older men. When we buy games for ourselves, we don't think about rating systems anymore because we're obviously well above them. But there was a time in our lives when we were much younger where there was a time where there literally wasn't a rating system for games that came at a very specific event, which I'll talk about here in a minute. I'll see if either of you guys remember, but since then, it's a big part of gaming nowadays, right? And especially as people have really pushed to try to say gaming is okay for children and it's okay to have your kids play games, that rating system has become more and more important. But I thought it'd be fun for us to kind of reflect upon or share some of our experiences early on playing mature games before we were supposed to. So I know this is, if you're a parent and you're like, this isn't right, you're probably right. Like we probably shouldn't have done this, but there's I'm sure some funny stories we have either playing where like the first time you're playing and there was like blood on the screen and your mom was like, what the hell was that I just saw? Because it was so foreign in video games because everybody was used to like Zelda and Mario and that kind of stuff. So I have a couple I want to share, but let's start with you guys. Bubble Boy, let's start with you. Either some early memories or thoughts or experiences you had kind of with your first couple of mature games. I know you touched on it a little bit. Or Diwali, you want to start?
No, I just wanted to say, can we talk about when the ESRB was created? Can we do that first? Because I'm curious.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Wait,
Chico,
I-
go with
I-
that,
I
'cause
wa-
I don't know.
I don't know either. Wait, can you show me
let's
this?
take a guess.
Wait,
So-
wait. Let me just say this. I do know that the PG-13 was created, I believe, for Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Ooh, I did not
there's
know
a little
that.
fact for you to-
Kalima. That's a good one.
Yes, so I'm pretty sure it was either that one of the Indiana Jones. That's what created this. Like, oh man, we need to put PG-13 on this because it didn't exist before. So,
Can
you give us a
give me a
decade?
hint?
Or-
Hold
no,
on,
no,
no,
you
no,
know,
hold on.
You know the decade. Give me
Give me a
the
hint.
game.
Was this sexually related or violence related?
So all of this was violence first. There were
Oh, I
sexual
know what it
games.
is. I know
you
what it
have to
is.
know what this is.
I know what
it was
it is.
a
I do know
very
what it is. I
specific
know what it
game.
is. I got
Very
it, Chance.
specific.
I got
What
it.
is it? Chance first then, because if
Hold
Dan
on,
thinks
no,
it
no,
is, I
no.
want to know
Give
what
me,
Chance
give
thinks.
me. I need one more hint.
He was
No, you can't.
Violence, and then you're just. Oh, I got it.
Yes.
I'll say this. It was before it
No,
was a
no.
Okay. Chance, you got to guess. What do you think
Chance,
it was?
You got to give us a guess.
Well, so we'll do it two ways. What is the game that caused the rating system to be needed, and what was the first game to be rated MA? There's two. That's kind of two different things.
I have no idea on the first one, but Chance, you want me to give this? Come on,
Give me a system. What was the system?
Give us a little softball.
It'll give it away if I
multi-gen.
give you the system.
It'll give it away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Really? I thought this was on. Maybe I didn't know this. Maybe I'm wrong.
See,
So
okay. D. Wally, take your guess.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. So Mortal Kombat, the first one, was the
Oh,
game
of
that caused it
course.
needed to happen. So before
Of
Mortal
course.
Kombat, there were not
Oh
rating
my
games.
God.
And for those that didn't know the original Mortal Kombat, I'm sure you could guess if you've ever seen
did I
anything
not?
related to Mortal Kombat. They were ultra quote unquote violent. And by today's standards, if you go back and play that first one, you're like, I don't understand why this was a big deal because it's so pixelated and old, and it was hard to do the fatalities, right? But just the idea that you could have a fatality, right, where we're gorily defeating your enemy, because like Street Fighter, right before it predates Mortal Kombat, but Street Fighter, when you'd win, it would just go like,
It was the squirts of blood and like the
Yeah, yeah.
skeleton coming out of the spine.
Yeah,
Jose, can you give me
squirt.
the year of the game that was rated mature?
So it was 1993. And it was Mortal Kombat 2. It was the sequel. So that was the first one because they were developing it. They had to go to court proceedings. It was a very big thing for that time period.
Oh my! Of course, I can't even. I hate myself for not knowing that.
Yeah. And it's obviously in hindsight, it sounds easy. But
Yeah.
anyway, let's talk about stories. Bubble Boy, start with you about some experiences, post 1993.
Yeah, that's funny. So, and I can remember the first game that I felt so cool, and I was 18 when I got it, because that was back when all I really cared about was playing Madden with the hit stick. Was Vice City, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, because I had to ask my mom probably to help me buy Grand Theft Auto 3. One, and this isn't my story, it's Court's story, but what I always think of when I think of that is do you remember our house up on
Virginia?
Virginia?
Yep.
It had the slats, right, in the stairs thing. Court would come down when we were playing Clock Tower. If you remember Clock Tower, which
Great
was
game.
considered just terrifying and super violent. Court would come and my mom would be like, "You're not watching that game, Court. Are you? Get up here. You don't watch that game. It'll give you nightmares."
Tell people
And
what
Court
it was,
coming
because
down
people
and,
probably don't
like,
know what Clock Tower is.
peeking. Dan, do you even remember what Clock Tower was?
No, but it sounds familiar. I'm sure if you
So
describe
it's
it,
a
I'll know.
point and click, and you would like hide in cupboards and stuff. And this guy with these big scissors would just he would come and then
Like Friday the 13th. Did you guys play that multiplayer? You've played, didn't
Oh,
you?
of
Chance?
course, yeah.
Where
The
you-
You
NES
bought
one?
it for me.
No, the
Oh,
one.
no.
No,
Yeah, the
the
Xbox one.
Xbox.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
yeah.
And I don't even remember what you would have to do to get caught or not get caught, but you pretty much always got caught, and he would take these giant scissors and stab them through probably such a bad game. And I think if you actually beat the whole thing, it took 45 minutes maybe. Really bad game, but man, that was we are real big boys now because we're playing Clock Tower.
Yeah. And point and click with a PlayStation controller, mind you, not a mouse. So you're literally using the joystick on the left to move this mouse cursor and click, and then your guy would walk over there. It was a train wreck in hindsight, but a good memory.
But yeah, and so I think we also kind of came in. Ashley and I had a really good conversation about this because of the movie The Tomorrow War, which is fantastic, by the way. If you haven't watched it yet, it's wonderful.
Amazon,
she
right?
Loved it. Yeah, she goes to bed at she's 8 months pregnant right now, so she goes to bed at about 6:37 every night. She stayed up till midnight watching it with me last night.
Whoa,
And
That's
stayed
late
awake
for
the
you.
entire time. So anyway, that segued into a conversation about how we grew up with as the same age as like a lot of game developers, right? And so how you start to see right around the time we became parents, you start seeing games about being parents, right? And so one of the things that we both really loved about the Tomorrow War is it's not a romantic thing, right? Like the guy has a wife, but it's more about him and his daughter's relationship than anything. So it's really cool.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Diwali. What about you, buddy? Any experiences early on?
So yeah, I shared this in one of the Get to Know Me episodes. The hands down the thing where I shouldn't have been playing a mature game was Resident Evil 2 with Mike Askins. Up in my son's room right now, him running through with Leon, zombie arms bust out of the glass, grab Leon and shake him. Mike Askins just sets the controller down. He's like, Dan, I can't play this anymore, because he was like that shook from it, like just that absolutely terrified from just the zombies busting through. And then after, like right before that, you meet the liquor. I have no idea. My parents had no idea what we were playing, so we were playing mature games way early, and just they probably didn't pick up on that until like Chance with Court with my younger brother. That's when they're probably like, yeah, you shouldn't be playing that. But yeah, I was playing like Grand Theft Auto, and so I remember playing Silent Hill with Jack McAuliffe. We would play at his house during the day with all the lights on, cheats where you couldn't die, had infinite ammo, and we were still terrified of Silent Hill. Like it took us, I remember it was this big accomplishment when we finally beat that game, and we couldn't die, you guys, and we had unlimited ammo, and we were absolutely terrified. So that was back when we were in 8th grade and freshman year. So is maturity, you have to be 18 or 17 to buy?
I think it was 18. I don't know if they enforce that in GameStop still though. Do you know that?
I think they do.
Online?
I think they not online, but for sure. Well, maybe online. I just don't even think about it now. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they do at GameStop. So yeah, those are games immediately that come to mind. And I've been playing a lot of mature games, and I just think I think I'm pretty mature for my age, you guys. I just know that it's
as he just bought the EB7 helmet behind him. Sure,
I can differentiate, reality and video games and movies.
Yeah, yeah.
I've always been pretty good about that. So
it makes me think too, though, and that's what I am. It separates us from millennials, right? Because sometimes, depending on what you look at, we might.
What do you
be
mean? We are
considered
millennial,
and the fact that so our younger brothers all had to, or they didn't ever have to have this, right? And kids can just go download whatever games they want now. So when I was at my friend's house for 4th of July, that's what we were talking about. And I was saying what makes you a millennial is if you didn't have to work for your, gentlemen's magazines as a child, if that was all just accessible to you. I was like, do you know how much effort I had to put into that kind of stuff? And there was one that went around between 12 different dudes that
and getting caught.
Yeah,
we can have a whole
story for another time.
Super long episode on those good old days.
It's the same kind of thing, right? It's like
it's true.
Kids nowadays, they just
it's instant.
download
it's
it.
like they don't even care because it's so easy to get to. Whereas us, we're like, oh my gosh, a boob. Jose, what about you? What about your mature memories?
So I have quite a few, but I do want to ask one though, and if you don't have one, it's fine. But it's just because most of what we focus on was violence, and obviously, again, for the listeners, that really was the early ages of rating systems. Even though they did include things like sex and nudity and stuff like that, and there were games like that, they were very, very obscure games, mostly for PC. But I want to know if you have any early stories about it, especially with maybe Grand Theft Auto related to sex. I'm just curious.
So I can think of one mature thing where I was like, oh my gosh, look at this. Is in Heavy Rain, the shower scene, Chance. There's just a woman just with her boobs and her vajayjay over white, and I remember just zooming in with the camera, look, this is incredible detail. So yeah, that's one of my, and then I remember there was a controversy around Mass Effect with the Liara or Ash's buttocks, and which was totally ridiculous. And so
Miranda.
No. You guys are wrong. In Mass Effect 1, this is where there was a big controversy. You see Ash's butt. You actually see a cheek. and then they cut it out. And then actually, Chance, I remember in Andromeda, I was like, wow, they took it up a level, and this is what I'm talking about. So, uh, Chance, and obviously everyone went to the strip club in Grand Theft Auto 5 and being like, there's those memes for like, hey, where are you at? I'm like, oh, I'm just playing GTA 5. I'm just driving around. Like, dude, it says you're in the strip club right now. You know, stuff like that. So,
We
a
can
lot of
see
people, yeah, exactly. We can see it tells where you are exactly in the game. So yeah, go ahead, Chance.
I just remember on 3 the whole like idea of picking up a prostitute, right? And you hear the old janky like,
And then the car shaking. Yep.
right? And what we would have been middle school or freshman, or probably freshman, sophomore, I don't know, young enough to where it was the funniest thing and the most magical thing that's ever happened on the planet Earth, I think, at that time. And you think back now and it's just like, my God, how did these people get away with some of this stuff? Like putting this into games and, oof.
So just a funny story real quick, and then I'll talk about my list. Just for the listeners out there, just in defense of our parents. Our parents were great parents, and they were not absentee. It's not like they let us run wild. Again, this was just such an unprecedented time in gaming, and we were obviously at the forefront of it, being huge gamers and stuff. But one quick story. So as much as my parents ultimately did let me play a lot of mature games, one of the things that they really monitored for me was music. They were like, I don't know why, I'm sure it was some Dateline story from way back when I was a kid. They were
Eminem,
very
man.
worried. It was before Eminem, but the funny story, and it relates to you, Wally, it was when I bought the Third Eye Blind album, their first album with the red cover. You know what I'm talking about? It looks demonic. It does. It's not, though. It's Third Eye Blind. And I remember my dad, I came home from like Sam Goody, and he was like, what'd you buy? I was like, I bought 2 CDs, Limp Bizkit and Third Eye Blind. And he was like, what's this Third Eye Blind? Because it looked like a devil. He's like, let me hear it, which he had never done with any of my music. And he was like, I guess this is okay. And then he did listen to Limp Bizkit. And I'm like, in hindsight, it's just hilarious, right? Like, just how would you know, right? You know, if you know Limp Bizkit.
But you know what's funny about Third Eye Blind though is Semi Charmed Life. It's about him doing crank and like sex.
Yeah,
and, like, it's really people jam out to that song. But when
and
you
Suicide,
really
right, with Jumper and stuff,
and Jumper, like they're dark stuff in there.
Yeah,
but sorry,
I know.
Go ahead.
Bubble Boy.
Well, it's so funny that you say that, because when you first brought this topic up, I immediately thought of the Marilyn Manson CD that I snuck buying from my parents. I'll never forget over at, wait for this one, Villa Italia Mall, back in Lakewood.
Rest in peace.
Yep, Villa Italia. And we went to see a Santa one time, and I remember telling my mom, "Oh, I gotta run to the bathroom real quick." And I ran up and I bought the Marilyn Manson CD, the one where he had like the, you know, he like.
Beautiful People, right? Wasn't it Beautiful People?
The beautiful people. The beautiful
I gotta
people.
look it up now. But I put it in my coat and I was like,
dude,
I am the most hardcore.
That was
badass of all
sneaky,
time.
Shady. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I gotta go. I need to go to the bathroom. Hold on, Mom. Okay. Chance is sneaking away to buy Marilyn.
That's awesome.
See, that's another millennial thing too, is having to go and buy music.
Yeah,
hard
like
copies
Sam
of music.
Goody, yeah.
A whole album.
The Virgin Megastore or whatever that downtown. I remember asking something that I was like, "Whoa, this is so cool."
They've got to have like 200 CDs here. Anyway,
so say what's yours? Yeah,
couple quick ones, and then we'll move on to our food stuff. So Mortal Kombat was a big one, 1993. Mortal Kombat 2, the sequel, which took things up like a couple levels in the game, like introduced a whole bunch of new characters, many more fatalities. But then on top of that, Mortal Kombat 3. And the reason I think of 3 is because that's when you first got introduced to Jade and then Melina and Katana, and they were in some very risque outfits, much like in the modern games as well. But that was like, again, we're talking like into middle school for us. So that was like a big, like, you know, I don't know if you secretly hope something would pop out mid game, which like that doesn't happen in games, you know what I'm saying? But that's the thing. Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, like one again, because it was so different. And I remember the cover, it had nothing to do with zombies. It was like a dude with like a weird alien underneath him kind of thing. And then 2 and 3, Nemesis was a big thing too, with the violence and just I think honestly, you brought up a good point, Dan, that it was a really great way to help us. As a kid, I felt like it showed me differentiation between real life and fantasy. Like I was like, I know this is not real. I know this is not normal behavior. Like, and so it did that for me as a kid, even though I was kind of self-teaching myself that stuff. Another couple of notable ones though, Parasite Eve. It was a PlayStation 1 game, a great game, very short in series, but it was basically about um, in New York City, spontaneous combustion starts to happen and this like parasite thing. And it was like, the reason it was MA is because it was very anime inspired. It looks a lot like Final Fantasy games. And I think it was also Square Enix actually. And there was one scene where the boss is topless, but has no nipples. And it's anime art basically. It's in that style. And so it got that rating. Plus it was very gory, to be fair, lots of people exploding on fire and stuff, but also a great game. I would love to see a reboot of that, mind you. That was actually during 8th grade for us. So that was like end of middle school. Another couple other ones. Twisted Metal was a really, I think, forgotten, underrated game. They did release one, I think, for PlayStation 2 as Twisted Metal Black, but the premise was basically like a car derby where you had like missiles and guns. And what made it scary, and it was MA because of the violence, but some of the characters were literally terrifying. Like a clown that was on fire. I think Sweet Tooth was his name, right? And some of the stories, they were like murderers and stuff like that. It was, but that I remember playing that as a kid for PlayStation 1 with just such terrible graphics, but it was fun couch co-op and that kind of stuff. Turok N64, 1997. We were in 7th grade. Also was really notable because of the blood. It was one of the first games for the N64 that featured a lot of blood, and there was even blood settings. So you could go into the menu and say, I want red blood or green blood or no blood. Right. So it was trying to compromise with parents to say, like, look, let your kid play this game. You can just turn off the blood, which was notable for its day. And then the last two were Tomb Raider, right? Tomb Raider and Tomb Raider was not MA, for the record. I don't think any of them, have been MA. Do you know, right? But
no, it was teen.
It was the fantasy thing, right? So Lara Croft, again, there were like theories that on the internet there were these nude patches for her. To this day, that has never happened.
Boobs.
Yeah, and it's there. You can obviously mod it if you can code and stuff like that. But actually, Eidos Interactive, which was the company in the early, I think it was through the third one, and Chance was a huge fan of the Tomb Raider games, the early ones. They actually had said that they would like come after people if they tried to mod game and then release those mods to make Lara nude. Like it was a big thing, but never a real thing officially by anything like that, even though people try to say it was and stuff like that. But overall, just, in hindsight, all these things by today's standards are laughable. Like if you went back and played these games, people would be like, this is stupid. but they were very formative times for us. And I do like to think, despite our jokes, we came out pretty all right. And I think if anything, it's taught us now as parents, who I think all hope someday our kids get to some degree into games, or at least accept them. It does encourage us to at least be aware of what they're playing, just because, again, not that our parents weren't aware, they just didn't know better. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like parents today who don't think, like, I don't know what TikTok is. It's what they do on their damn phones. It's like, I'm not going to be like stalking my kids, but I want to know what they're doing on their stuff, because it plays a huge part. And obviously all of us as educators too, like we see how it affects kids every day. So anyway, lots of fun stories. If you have great stories about those early mature games you want to share with us, please feel free to do that at XRT, our email account, and talk to us on Twitter and stuff like that, because we really are just a bunch of fun guys who probably went through similar experiences as many of you. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Daddy Wally for our next stuff.
Well, real quick, the album was Mechanical Animals. The song was The Dope Show.
The Dope
was
Show.
The one that I was really excited about. And it wasn't just the Siegel House that didn't like Marilyn Manson. It says here, the month before release, the 3 largest retailers in the U.S. at the time, Kmart, Walmart, and Target, refused to stock the album, citing the offensive cover.
I know, it's so
and
hardcore.
The parental advisory sticker.
Yeah, it's crazy how much things have changed. By the way, I'm demoting Bear down to assistant to the co-host, because he couldn't even remember the XRT email. Guys, if you want to write in about your nostalgia,
I couldn't remember it.
Mature memories, write in.
I don't ever write to it. I write to you directly.
Xbox record this at gmail.com. It's very simple. We're Xbox record this across all social media. Thanks for that one, assistant to the coast. Chance, why don't you give us some reader mail? This coming in straight from Bubble Boy N7's wife. with the
Yeah.
reader mail question. Let's hear it, buddy.
Hey guys, love the show. I want to know, what is the #1 go-to snack and drink combination for marathon gaming sessions?
Thank you so much, Ashley. Shout out to Ashley.
Shout
Big
out to
fan of the
Ashley.
show. I'm going to jump in right here, Chance. You saw me, if you were watching the video, you saw one of my favorite snacks as I was engulfing it. I was eating, this is a great one, you guys.
Kale
Sweet tart
chips.
ropes. No, sweet tart ropes. Incredible. Get the tangy strawberry, the best flavor. Here's the tier. Tangy strawberry. Then I got this new one. It was the watermelon mixed berry one. This is new. I didn't think it was going to be good. Phenomenal. And then the cherry punch. Cherry punch used to be my favorite. After trying all three, I bought a giant 3 bags, one of each from Walmart the other day. All of it's gone already, by the way. So
Just a great
any
example
kind
of how mature Daddy Diwali is. He bought all 3 of them from Kmart.
ate them all. So I love to have some sort of gummy product. That's one of my go-to snacks. Love the gummies. I got a sweet tooth. Had to have a root canal just the other month. That was great. Anyway, we'll ignore that. But the other snack I would say, which some people might be like, really? While you're gaming? Isn't that kind of difficult to eat? Cereal, you guys. I'm a big fan of
He
bowl
is a big cereal guy.
Right
Big cereal guy.
before I
Yeah.
get into some hardcore gaming, got to refuel. Give me the cereal. One of the best things I ate this week, tying into that, oatmeal cream pie cereal. Guys, this is a top tier cereal.
It's
Those
in the
heavy?
pantry right now.
Dude,
Yep.
top tier cereal. It gets nice and soft,
Yep.
Chance, and
Oh,
it's just a great, fantastic. You can go on. So those are my favorite snacks there, Ashley. So
Well, what about to drink? The snacks and
Water
to drink.
for
What's
him.
the
milk and cookies and gummies. Like I'm a kid.
2%?
No,
Actually,
I go
fun story about Daddy
1%.
Diwali and gummies. For those who don't know, when you eat sugar-free gummies, they are very good for your digestive system. And there is, we thought was an old wives' tale that if you eat too many of them, that it is very bad for you in the end. You want to tell us about what happened there, Daddy Diwali?
No,
we
let's say
got
that
a
for
live
another
tweet of
time.
it.
No, let's. I gotta say it for another time. And Chance, I'm so disappointed I didn't share my review of it when it happened. I'm hoping you have it somewhere stored because it's one of my biggest regrets is when I sent out the text after I ate all this.
I know.
Let's save it for another time. I don't want to
Okay.
spoil it. Chance,
Okay.
or sorry, Jose. What are your favorite snacks? I don't know. You don't seem like a big snacker when you're gaming.
So I am,
like
but
you're in the
I go
zone.
the different route of snack. If it's a like the way I thought about this question was, there was a time I remember very distinctly when I lived up north where my wife went out of town for a couple of days and she's like, all right, I'm going on a
Taco
trip. And
Bell.
this was pre-kids. And so it's like, okay, I can literally do whatever I want for gaming. And I do love Taco Bell, but I don't think that's good gaming food. It's very messy. And I, as weird as I don't like to get it all over my controllers and stuff, and you get drift and that kind of stuff. But my go-to drink has always been for a long time Diet Dr. Pepper. I just like Diet Dr. Pepper. I like the flavor of it. It's just what I like to drink. I have a bunch in the fridge right now. I'll probably have one tonight after we play games. That's my go-to drink. And then my go-to food actually is pizza. I know that sounds weird because I just said I want to be clean. I keep lots of napkins around. The one thing I'm actually really conscious about when I play is if we're playing multiplayer games together, the chewing. And not that I'm never bothered when like Alan tends to chew chips with his mic on all the time. I don't know why he does that, but it doesn't really bother me. I just don't want to do it to anyone else. And so I'm very cautious of like, I try to mute my mic or whatever to do that
No,
kind
it
of
bothers
stuff.
me.
I'm sure it does. But my go-to is always the pizza. Because it lasts a long time. I like that it's a handheld, easy to clean. It keeps me full. Because that's my problem with snacking is I'll eat too much trying to get full, and then I don't feel good, and I want to do that. So those would be my go-to for you. Bubble Boy, what about you?
Yeah, no, I love that. I in the same way, like, and I developed a thing that all the ladies that I work with kind of make fun of me for, and they're like, they just know this is how I eat chips, and Cora does the same thing now. But like, I love the snack size bags of chips because what I do is I crunch them all up at first so that I can use the bag almost like, Diwali, and then I'm not getting greasy chip crumbs all over my controller
It's a
while
utility
I'm playing,
thing.
because that's a
That's the only problem. I agree.
If you're in there
but
and you're dipping,
if you're really
in
good
and-
with your mouth, you can just kind of on your tongue.
I've
and
never been a
work it in
finger
there.
licker. I
Someone
don't.
screenshot that
that's
picture
what
of
I'm
Diwali
saying.
right there.
You get the bag
Yeah.
and you work the bag and then you bring it in. and then you tongue it into your mouth, and you don't have to touch the chip.
Yeah.
Somebody
But
clip that.
and so that's how I've, and like you can't do it with a full bag of chips, and like because chips are my go-to snack.
You can't
like
do it
it's
with a
just-
full bag of chips.
Well, but
No, I agree with the small bags though, Chance, because I specifically get those now from Costco. One, it provides a great diversity of chips, and you can't go wrong. And then two, it's like a perfect. I don't have to feel too guilty because this one bag is only 150 calories, but then I get like 5.
but when
of
you
them.
eat 17 of them in a row, yeah, no.
What happened to all the
and
chips last night? I don't know. Probably the kids.
I think we left them in the car. So I still to this day, even if I'm not gaming, and that's why I said I like to have like a sandwich and a bag of chips at work. That's how I eat them. And like Liz and Shannon are like, Chance and his chips, the way he's just like, crunch them up first, right? And then the other one is Nerds Ropes. So it kind of along the line of D Wally's. I think the Nerds Rope is probably
So good. I wanted to buy
Just-
those, but I couldn't find them, Chance, and that's why I got the sweet tart ropes. It was very
I
disappointing.
believe
couldn't
you.
find them.
I believe you. We have 2 on the refrigerator, on top of the refrigerator right now, and Cora is a massive fan, so I would not dare even touch them without her presence. So they also now make Nerds Rope Bites. Yeah, the only problem with those is it's a tiny bag. It's kind of a slap in the face. Like those need to come in the same barrel that like cheese balls come in for me. And then you would be like,
There you go.
right,
Janice
like
knows what I'm
shaking
talking
it
about.
in.
Honorable mention. I
those
would
are-
also is sunflower seeds. I also eat a lot of times when I'm gaming. I like those are good. Like the dill. We had the Taco Bell ones recently. They're very good. Recommend them.
I don't know about sunflower seeds inside. That just seems weird to me. Well, I just want to again thank Ash for that awesome question.
Thank you, Ashley.
for listening. Shout out, big fan of the show, and please,
She's
if you would
a huge fan of the show. Yeah, she encouraged me to start doing it too.
Yeah,
because
so-
of the smooth, silky, sultry voices of you two.
You heard of
Tell her to
first
tell
on
my wife to
XRT.
start listening. She still refuses.
If you guys want to send in your requests or reader mail, please write to us at xboxrecordthis@gmail.com for any of your reader mail or the good old days inquiries. Let's close out the show, you guys. Fantastic show. Just got a great vibe on this one. XRT number 10. I'm loving it.
10th episode,
With-
baby.
I forgot I don't have a shot, you guys. So maybe during this segment, I will go get a shot so we can all cheers together for the completion of this episode. I'm going to leave and go get that while you guys discuss the best food you've had this week. Jose, let's hear it. And you're going to have to fill me in when I come back, but I'm going to go get
Well,
a
no,
shot.
hold on. Let's
What?
just. I mean, I understand.
I don't have a
we're
shot ready
I want to
either.
do this on air. I thought we
don't have a
were
shot.
No, I
on
know
air.
we're recording, but we can all mute and walk away and grab one.
Yeah,
come
and you can
back
cut
and you
in
can
the edit, the
it.
post.
Again,
remember
it's a
cut it,
lot
cut
easier.
it.
Okay, do you know how easy it is? Okay,
I
you
don't.
guys, nobody here edits this, and so they're asking me
Oh,
more
I edit
work.
video all
to
the time.
do.
I don't edit this though.
Oh, okay.
I would edit the video if you told me to. I'd be happy to.
All right, we can do that. All right, we got to be quick. So, fine. I'm going to go first then.
Go first.
The best food I had this week, you guys, was a repeat. We went to Virgilio's again for my mom's birthday. Mixed it up. It was actually funny because one of the waiters, the waiter who we had last time, right? I was like, "Hey guys, how's it going? It's good to see you again." And my mom was like, "They know you here?" I'm like, yeah, we
Yes, Mom.
come for regulars. But no, it was for a birthday, and this time I got the barbecue chicken personal pizza, delicious to go to, and then I got their classic, and I didn't realize that this is a classic Italian style pizza, thin crust, a lot of sauce, very little cheese. It was that different kind of cheese too. There's no mozzarella on it. Kind of threw me off. I read the description. I'm like, I think this will be good. I need to try something different. Like Chan said, you only live once. You gotta mix it up every now and then. It was delicious. I'm usually not a fan of those big saucy pizzas with no cheese or whatever. Loved it. I put some red pepper on, a little bit of Parmesan. Delicious. Shout out to Virgilio's again. Loved it. Also mentioned the cereal, fantastic. The sweet tart ropes again as well. Another repeat. We had Chipotle again, and it was incredible. So I had a great week of food, you guys. Boring repeats, but that's what I had. So, Chance, what was the best food you had this week?
Yeah, I'll start with my honorable mention, which was sitting down with just Ashley at Chipotle and the Tabasco container was out where I was just dumping Tabasco.
Clutch. That's a clutch.
Into the burrito, and green Tabasco, obviously.
Absolutely. Not.
Yeah, and I just was like, I think I cried. I did cry. I don't think I cried. I was like, I missed it, right? And we had our chips that we ripped the top half of the bag off of, and it was, man, it was special. But what stole the show for me, and I think I sent the nerd chat a picture of it. For 4th of July, we went to Jen Cifuentes, my friend from Gateway, her house. Shout out Jen, huge fan of the show. And her husband Mayorvi, they were grilling, right? Because it's 4th of July, and he also happened to go to Krispy Kreme that day. And when I showed up, and we have a lot of similar tastes. He's a wonderful human being. He was like,
You did send the
well,
picture.
hold on. We've got these Krispy Kremes, and then this burger, and then these lame-ass regular buns. Chance, are you thinking what I'm thinking? And I was like, I am 10 steps ahead of you. Yes, please bring those donuts over here and make buns out of it. So it was Krispy Kreme, glazed donut, burger, In-N-Out sauce, and we've talked about how I'm not the most massive In-N-Out fan, right? But that sauce, they do well, okay? Because it provided a little bit of tang. I skipped the cheese. I skipped all the fixins. I know this is sounding weird because he was like, Chance, that's crazy. I was like, I need to taste other things right now. And
I need to dance.
Yeah, let me be. And it was, oh my God, it was fantastic. And had it just been me and my RV and not, wives and children, we would have each eaten probably three of those. But I was restricted to one.
Gotcha. I'm very jealous. That's the one thing on my bucket list is to eat a Krispy Kreme cheeseburger. I still
me
need
too.
to do that. So
Next burger.
Jose, what about you? What was the best thing you had this week?
So I got eat a lot of delicious food. We were on vacation this week in San Diego. A lot of food we don't get to have normally. My number one thing that I had was Cali tacos. So I learned in California, anything that says Cali means it has fries in it. So I got a lot of things that were Cali things, but the Cali tacos were basically carne asada with like pico and cheese, and then fries inside of the taco. Phenomenal, like so good. I told Victoria I want to make tacos or burritos this week. I had a Cali burrito that was like the same thing. Fantastic. Honorable mention, we also had some delicious pizza in Little Italy. If you ever go to San Diego, go to Little Italy. Really cool area and delicious. It's where Ballast Point's also at, which is a great brewery. We also went to this place called the Crack Shack, which is a chicken place, and really, really good. I think I had a sandwich there. My girls had like the tenders. My in-laws got a 5-piece, but just really good food. And we found out the Crack Shack is actually coming to Denver soon, which is really cool. Unfortunately, that means it'll be busy for like 18 months straight. But once it calms down, much like In-N-Out, I'll be going there for sure once it comes out. Overall, just a lot of great food. The taco thing was so good though. Like just, if it sounds crazy at first to hear like, because it was like, I think it was beans also. So it was beans, the fries, carne asada, and this stuff. It sounds a little weird, but it was so good. And genuinely filling with just 2 tacos. Like I'm usually a 3 taco guy, but 2 tacos was plenty with the rice and beans. But that was the best thing I ate this week. So shout out to all the restaurants in San Diego.
Nice. Well,
The
boys,
Colorado burrito at Burrito Express on Alameda there's French fries in the Colorado burrito.
Well, they're technically potatoes though. That's in all their burritos, but it's not the same thing. I mean, these are like literally fried as French fries, not just strips of potato. Even though love Taco Strapidos and mad respect to that whole crew.
shout out to Burrito Express. I haven't been since I moved here. What am I doing? What is wrong with me?
What are you doing?
What do I need to get? Hey,
boot
I need you both to text me what
host.
I need you guys
Breakfast
to text me what I
bacon.
should get there.
Just a
Well, I
breakfast
always
bacon.
get that. No, I know.
Breakfast
That's
bacon
it?
and Colorado. Get a Colorado burrito.
or carne
Does it have
asada
any-
fries.
I was going to say,
Potato-
do they have carne asada fries?
yes.
Okay, that's what I
Always do.
Copy that.
Okay.
All right, guys. Let's take a minute here to get a shot, and we'll be right back. Let's be right back. Hurry up. Well, guys, this has been Xbox Record This, episode 10. What a great episode. We would like to celebrate right now on the air. I have this Coastive Premium Ultra 100% agave tequila. Chance, what have you got? What are you going to take a shot of?
And I apologize. Some trashy vanilla whiskey. It's not worth mentioning the
Way to
name.
celebrate 10 episodes down. Jose, what about you?
I have some delicious peanut butter whiskey. Screwball. Phenomenal.
Well, sounds good. So, guys, here's to 10 episodes, and here's to hopefully many,
100
many more
more.
to come.
Cheers, fellas.
Thank you for doing this. Cheers. XRT number 10.
Delightful.
Oh, man. Delicious. Guys, I am
Mine
so
was not.
middle-aged. I don't remember the last time I did a shot. So, with that, my name is Daddy Diwali. You can find me on all social media at Daddy Diwali. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. Also, check out xboxrecordthis.com. You can write to the show at xboxrecordthis@gmail. Just give you a heads up, you guys. We crossed 200 plays on Anchor, so another milestone. Very proud about that. Chapeau Bear, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Chipotle_Bear. You can find me on Instagram at Chipotle Bear. You can also find me on Xbox, Chipotle Bear. Give a shout out anytime. Again, share those memories about those mature rated games. We'll talk about some more memories in the future. Bubble Boy.
Bubble Boy in 7 across all social media platforms.
But you can't find him. He's just
He's
secure to
private.
names. So with that, guys, seriously, thank you for all our listeners, our audience out there. We really appreciate it. This is pretty exciting. 10 episodes, that's a big deal. So I'm pretty proud of that. We got to keep this up, you guys. I love it. We're going to get into some really good games, with gold, like Planet Alpha. You know, we got a lot of stuff here. So
Alpha,
having said that,
Alpha Centauri.
again, guys, just thank you for listening. And I'm the show really does make me happy, and it's a highlight to end the week. So as always, gentlemen, see you online.
See you online.
See you online.
That's all it says. Xbox Record This is a podcast created by Daniel Walenzik. You can follow him at Daddy Diwali on all social media. The assistant to the co-host is Jose Martinez, and you can follow him at Chipotle_Bear on Twitter. The assistant to the co-host is Chance Siegel, and you can follow him at BubbleBoyN7. You can follow the show at Xbox Record This on all social media. If you'd like to find out more about the show, visit xboxrecordthis.com.